The brand new music for Tornado Tag Podcast. I added a little crowd noise in there, a little bell ringing.
You mean that's not an actual crowd?
We need a chant.
That's the live studio audience.
Yeah. Live, dude.
Stop podcasting. Anyway, Tornado Tag Podcast. We just hit our milestone, episode 150.
Ooh,
wow. And what better way to do it isn't hanging out with the dudes. Not just the dudes, but the dudes at Ringside Podcast. What's going on, everybody?
What's going on? Hello there, wrestling fans, and welcome.
We already have Harley in the chat hanging out with us. What's going on, Harley? Before we get to any of that, though, let's get our housekeeping business out of the way. I thought my nose was bleeding for a second.
Nope, you're good.
Just a bug. We're good.
Yep.
All right. So
this is what you get for doing rails before the show.
Yeah.
You got to get hype somehow. We're on that.
Oh, I just thought of Mojo Rawley.
We're on that. We're on that wrestler diet. Anyway,
in the 80s.
You've heard of California sober. Tony's Bogota sober.
I'm gonna try to start losing weight and become Hamburg sober.
There you go.
Yeah.
You gotta get your candies.
Get my candies.
You're not gonna lose weight being Hamburg sober. You're gonna get some muscle on you.
Yeah. The IWEP Network. If you check us out at iwepnetwork.com, it shows all of our amazing shows that we have there. We have something for everybody, whether it's comic book, supernatural, beers, interviews, pro wrestling. We have a little bit of everything. So head over to the IWEP Network. Or you could follow us all on social media. It helps us out a lot. We're setting our goal for 1,000 subscribers on all platforms by the end of this year. So if you do not already follow us on a social media platform, help us out with that, or retweet and tell your friends about us. We do also have a merch store. If you want to grab some cool merchandise, you can do so. And also our Patreon. So our Patreon varies from $1 to $25 or anything. If you're, Elon Musk and you want to throw $43 billion at us instead of Twitter, yes, we'll take it. But we want to thank the amazing people besides Elon Musk who support us.
We will take that money and we will start a wrestling company that can do a show that has 2 good hours.
There we go.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh boy, he's hot.
There's a lot of people.
He is hot
a lot of
about
people.
it
Me and
tonight.
Brian hiring.
He's hot. But we want to thank Ryan Vox from Outbreak Wrestling, David S.
No last names. Remember?
Well, Vox because
he's a authority figure.
Yes. David S. Brett Squared from the Cake Santa Monte City, Bridget M. Andrew H. from Bang & Beers Podcast, Greg R. from the Fueled by House Podcast, Heidi B. from Not Cool in High School, and soon Not Cool in High School Horror. Dum.
Oh, that's 2.
Not that dumb. It's like 2 dumbs.
Oh, actually not Greg R. from the Fueled by Hobbs. Ryan G. from the Fueled by Hobbs Podcast. Check them out. Kelly, Crystal Mountain Healing and Truth Behind Illusion. Tommy B. The Tree of Life Metaphysical Shop. Brad Z, Higher Than Other Words Podcast, and JH. So thank you all for the support on Patreon. It helps keep the lights on, pay for StreamYard, all that fun stuff, and we save up to get cool equipment. So thank you all for the people who support. If you can't support, the best way to do so for free is just hit that share button. If you're watching right now on Facebook, hit like, share, subscribe, or you can also comment in the chat, hang out with us, because the more the algorithms see likes and comments and all that fun stuff, it says, oh boy, people are liking this, we're going to show this to more people because we want to keep people on our platform. So that's the best way to help us for free. All right, let's get to the chat real quick. Harley says always. She says I got some. She got a t-shirt, I think that's what she means. And then and getting more, and will do. So there you go. She's all about it. Harley.
I say this on our show all the time. She's like the queen of the indies. Like she always talks about the indie shows and stuff like that. And
yeah, she goes to a lot. She's PPW fan. She usually sits right by commentator and grow there, and she keeps me motivated. Her energy helps the show a lot.
Apparently, she's the loudest person in the room. Is it true?
PPW is a pretty loud room, but she's up there. She's definitely up there.
Every guest we've had, she's been there, like our cheering section. It feels like when we have a live audience, that's Harley. Like,
she's an amazing fan. So
amazing person.
Yeah, she's always good in our books. But all right, so the 2 dudes at Ringside Podcast, introduce yourselves.
It's dudes at Ringside Podcast.
Oh, sorry, dudes. What did I say?
Blended in 2 dudes.
I'm sorry.
I'm doing the 2 dudes with attitudes. That's what I'm doing. My bad.
Okay,
they're not Shawn Michaels, or else one of them would have already faked an injury.
Yeah,
that's the heel coming out in me right now. I'm sorry about that.
You hurt my mustache by calling me Shawn Michaels, but that's it went crooked.
Brian's on a level today.
Shawn Michaels forfeited a title once because of a broken mustache.
Oh, I grew a mustache because I felt it was cool. I had a beard looking like Braun Strowman, and then I became like the mustache man.
I like the mustache. I think it's a good look.
It's coming back. It's coming back.
Geek, you go first. Introductions.
So my name is Metal Geek. Love metal music. Love geek culture. Marvel, DC, whatever it is. Wrestling. So that's me right there. So
I'll be as hello there, wrestling fans. It's your boy, the one, the only, the Mr. Old School Certified, Mr. Certified Old School. You know, I'm the big mouth of the podcast, the one the ladies always come and say hi to, unless they want to rip my tail off and beat me with it. But that's a different story for a different day. Yeah, I love this. I'm Mr. Old School, and we love helping the indies any way we can.
Perfect. How long you guys been podcasting for?
1 year.
1 year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you two meet?
So we met through college. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Doing college radio. I taught him like everything he knows, how to talk on the microphone, how to gap between conversations, how to change the music. Because back in the day, old school CD player.
Yeah.
The CD would gap the music out. Don't scratch the CDs because I will break your arms. That's what I used to tell him all the time.
Now everything's digital.
Yeah, it would have been a weird
So much
radio.
easier.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine. Could you, like, imagine if it was cassette tapes. Even worse.
Like
Yeah.
like
Like
in
it worked.
private parts where Howard knocks all the cassettes and then he's like, ooh,
Yeah.
ooh.
That was me.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
me the first one. I think that was Geek. The first time we were in the studio.
No, the CD's broken. No.
I remember the CD cleaner that you'd have to like
Oh,
run
yeah.
it through too, because it had like
Looked
all
like
the
an
miles.
aardvark.
Yeah.
And all it did was just scratch their shitty up even more. Yeah.
It buffed it.
Yeah. Back in the day, I actually introduced Joe to independent wrestling, to Ring of
wow.
Honor. So,
Yeah.
and then he's like, "What's this?" I have no idea. I only like WWE. And then I put the tape on, watch the tape, and he's like, "Holy shit, this is awesome."
What do you recall as the first match you seen in Ring of Honor? Like, what was the first one that you remember seeing? Because man,
I remember seeing it. There was a lot. I would go back to 02. Is it 02? I believe it was maybe Spanky and Jody
That's
Flesh.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't start watching ROH like 2004 or 5. And the first time I went to a show was at the ECW Arena, the Arena Warfare show, when it was Danielson and Alex Shelley.
I may have been.
Yeah.
You never sweated your way through a night at the Murphy Rec
I
Center?
did it. It was already
my
in
goodness.
the what was the place?
The Armory.
The Armory.
Yeah, the Armory.
What's hotter, the Murphy or H2O?
Murphy Rec Center.
Murphy. I heard
Even
that.
with the
Murphy.
heater blowing on you?
Murphy Rec Center all day, every
And they
day.
had windows
Wow.
at the top because I watched the tapes of.
Hamburg
It
gets
was-
really hot too.
It was. No, I've been to Hamburg too. The Murphy Rec Center, the hottest building I've ever been in.
Oh God.
It like sweats, I bet.
It was a big basketball gym, and like Andy said, they had windows at the top, so it's like a greenhouse. And then you pack it full of people, and the only air
Zero
conditioning
airflow.
they had an air conditioner, but it was like a window unit, like you would have in this room, just for an entire like
Oh my
gymnasium.
God. That's crazy.
And they would pack that place too, so you had a lot of people. Oh,
Yeah.
it was so hot.
All right. So you guys met in college. You introduced him into independent wrestling with ROH, but you've always been lifetime wrestling fans. Do you guys recall your first time you ever turned it on, and what got you hooked?
You go first, Geek.
So Stone Cold was always my favorite wrestler growing up, and then I got into Triple H more. So because Triple H was my go-to guy right there. Oh, there you go. Oh, Stone Cold right there.
Can't go wrong with the Seedweiser.
The Seedweiser. So I'm like, yeah, this dude's awesome, and he doesn't just give a shit. He does whatever he wants when he wants. That character is awesome. So
GTA.
yeah. So so Stone Cold got me hooked on WWE, and then after that went to independent wrestling, and it's all been down there. So
Nice.
Like with me, when my dad told me that my grandfather was a professional wrestler, that really got me to like, I was like, oh my God, my grandfather was a wrestler. Wow. I'm gonna watch this stuff that's on TV. Maybe like I'll get ideas, like want to watch it even more. And then my uncle's like, I bought tickets to go to the Garden. So I started going to Madison Square Garden with my uncle to see like the golden era of wrestling, like get a chance to see my first match. My first match I ever saw in the Garden was Hogan versus Sergeant Slaughter in the boot camp match.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited to meet Sergeant Slaughter.
That's awesome to go back in that time to the
Yes.
Garden. I was there once for the
That's
ROH
right.
New Japan show.
Sorry. The first match of the night was always the match that I would go, wow, I can't believe this is happening at the Garden, and it wasn't on TV. Well, it was, but it wasn't. It was Haku versus Ricky Steamboat.
Oh. Is that the first match you ever saw live?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I know mine. Mine was it was B. Brian Blair against a not
Oh.
quite yet perfect Kurt Hennig.
Wow. Really?
Yeah,
Wow, what an opening match.
at the old Philadelphia Spectrum.
Wow.
Alrighty. Nice. So you guys, I forget like exactly what I was gonna say because someone just commented on our one thing. I was actually looking at the real quick, just kind of a side note, a little bit of like wrestling news here. So Cass or William Morrissey, well, we know him all as
W.
Cass,
Morrissey.
yeah, W Morrissey or
Impact.
or Cass XL or whatever name he's going by these days. He said in December 2018, I publicly suffered a seizure from alcohol withdrawal in the 2300 arena. Tonight, I stand in the same building as Impact on Access TV as the new man with appreciation for all life and all of its blessings, and thank you everyone. Dude, what a comeback for that
Yes.
dude. I'm
Yeah,
super
definitely.
I
happy.
am
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. It's not a secret. I've always
I'm
been.
assuming he doesn't drink anymore.
I don't think
I
so.
would,
No.
I would assume.
It's not a secret. I've always been a huge supporter of Enzo and Cass on
Yes.
this podcast,
Yeah.
and taking a lot of heat for it. But
Why? I
But
thought they were
it's less
great.
so for Cass, I think. It was
Yeah.
more about the Enzo
Yeah.
part.
I will say this as an Enzo fan, I think after meeting them both together, I became a huge Cass fan. Just a really like I think I stopped and talked to him backstage like 6 times and just had like a legit, honest, good conversation. And just a really nice guy, super cool.
Well, they
Yeah.
were always entertaining when they were on NXT.
Oh,
And
they're-
then when they made it to the big show, it was like they just didn't know what to do with them, I don't think, or use them
They were fine for a
properly.
couple weeks, and then
Yeah,
they were
and
like,
then it was like,
They don't do it with anybody when they bring them up from NXT.
Butch.
Always
Butch.
entertaining. Always
Or-
entertaining. Enzo and Cass.
Butch.
Ciampa.
Yes.
He didn't even get his own interview. He didn't get his own introduction segment to himself.
It was about Ezekiel.
Oh god.
Anyway, let's talk about these guys.
Yeah.
What the later.
Ezekiel's the next big thing. Anyway,
Mm.
I love them. Harley in the chat said wrestling is my life, and yeah, she definitely embodies that. Actually, Harley's first interview this podcast
Oh.
interviewed her in the crowd as a fan,
Oh, okay.
and it was her birthday, and she said her favorite wrestler in the PPW,
Yeah.
and I hope he becomes champion one day, is Bro Keller.
Bro Keller. That's what I was gonna guess.
Fast forward 3 years because we had a pandemic.
Uh-huh.
She has a birthday party at PPW.
And he's
Current PPW champion,
yeah.
Bro Keller.
Why?
That's awesome.
That's a
Super
wish
cool.
coming true.
Yeah, she
See
put
how
it in
wrestling
existence.
listens- See how wrestling listens to the fans
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
in certain situations?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Not
always
all
listening.
Key phrase there,
Guys,
certain
in certain
situations.
Yes.
The indies listen. WWE
That's true.
doesn't.
Yeah.
WWE
Yeah.
doesn't. They have
They
your
do.
money.
They listen to the podcast too. We got
Do
Andy,
the opposite.
we got Andy booked against Gilbert one time on this show.
Oh, that wasn't WWE.
Yeah, but I'm saying he
He
said
was
the
saying
indies listen.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's it.
Still waiting on Outbreak Wrestling. We got to see Handy Andy.
Andy
Outbreak
Andy.
Wrestling.
No.
That new gimmick.
Yes.
That's so stupid. It makes me angry.
He
That's
comes
why
down.
it's wonderful.
He comes down to Weird Al. What's that?
The
Hardware store.
I thought you were going to say the parody of what was that Iggy Azalea song?
I'm so handy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
I
God.
haven't heard anything from
You'll hate it.
one past this
Yeah.
one CD. Running with Scissors.
Anyway, I'm sorry, guys. We take side tangents here. We go on side quests. If you listen, you
I do it all the time. I'm walking straight and then
Joe goes on a ramble sometimes, so it's you guys will fit in well, man.
as I say, I'm like Grandpa Joe. Like I'll be walking, like I'm gonna go get myself a beer and a thing. Oh, look, pretty girls.
But
Yeah.
it is a really
Like
good
Joe,
point.
we have
though.
a guest here. They let him talk, man. Yeah, so it's like
It is a very good point because indie wrestling, they do have to listen to their audience or they won't
Yeah.
survive, where
Yeah.
WWE
Yeah.
lives off of TV money and all this guaranteed money from Peacock and everything. So they just have totally erased that part of
wrestling out.
fundamentals of wrestling
Yeah.
from their ethos.
they have your money, so there you go.
Yeah. So, what you said, you guys, the podcast doing it a year. How would you describe your podcast as someone who's never listened? Obviously, there's tons of wrestling shows out there and podcasts out there, but I feel like every podcast has its own niche, or they do something just they tweak it to their liking. Some do weekly reviews, some just do interviews. Like there's a bunch out there. So, what exactly do you guys bring to the table when it comes to a wrestling podcast?
You want to explain, Geek? Or do you want me to?
So we interview. Our focus, we love interviewing everybody, but our focus, we try to be internationally known, and we want to give the independent indies, like international indies, some love too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
To get these people over here too, and say, "Wow, I saw these guys on Dudes at Ringside," and so
I love
so
that.
So like to give them some exposure, and so we're trying to get their name over in America. So
Like, I feel that the American wrestlers, we'll message them, and you will never hear back from the people from England, Scotland, Finland, Portugal, Germany. Like, they'll immediately it'll say seen immediately, and they'll put the heart, and they'll say, I'm available at this time. Let's work with you. Let's work.
Nice.
Could you imagine us trying to get all four of us together to do an interview with somebody in Germany?
Yeah.
No, actually, the people were cool. The girl we had, oh my god, you would love her. La Katrina. Oh my god. She had the coolest skull. She looked like Papa Shango. If Papa Shango had a daughter, she'd be La Katrina.
Oh,
Cool.
Papa Shango had a daughter.
I just heard Portugal. I'm like, oh, we could get Aldo Montoya on the show.
Bad Bone was cool as hell.
Bad Bone Klinger is another one that's really awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, tell us about it.
So go ahead. I cut you off. Sorry.
No, there's a little bit of delay, so we'll have that over sometimes. No, I'm sorry. You were saying, what about Klinger? Did you enjoy?
So Klinger, he was wrestled against AJ Styles, Bryan Danielson, all the top guys that were in WWE and AEW. He wrestled them. So, and I'm like that, and then he showed us pictures and everything. I'm like, dude, that is so cool.
Yeah. Where's he from now?
Bad Bone? He's in Germany.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how do you guys do your research or your homework on finding these shows from different parts of the world and watching them?
YouTube.
You look up the YouTube, or look up the URL on YouTube. Like, look up the name on YouTube. If we find a channel, we'll just like find them. We'll look up a match on their browser and be like,
well, even before you message them, how do you know they even exist if they're an independent from Germany? That's like a needle in a haystack almost. Yeah.
Well, it'll pop up on our thing, and I'll check I'll go on there. I'll watch a match on the good old fashioned YouTube to see what match I like. I'm like, okay, Geek, this guy's really good. This girl's really good. We should talk to her and see if they want to talk to us. And I'll message them our spiel, and they'll come in. You know, they'll start getting ready.
That's pretty sick, man. I appreciate that. That honestly, I think as a podcast host, I think what you're doing there is definitely showing your value, that you're willing to watch the person's content and actually and the fact that you're reaching out to someone from a different country, that I think that's why they see and they respond so quickly, because they don't really expect that from an American fan base.
Exactly. Yeah. And we're getting our fan base to know like them and like, wow, who's this? You know what I mean?
Harley was the last time we interviewed Savannah Summers.
Yeah.
And and the other wrestler that's behind me is Alfie. She's from England. She's another one you should look her up. She's in CPW, Coventry Pro Wrestling in England. She's their hardcore girl. They'll have like the cutesy Kiara versus Alfie in a jailhouse match, which is a cage match, and they could use weapons in the cage.
Nice.
Oh, it's not like they have to spend a night in jail like the big boss man in the Mountie.
Coventry Pro Wrestling, a very British name.
Yeah.
I had a fun fact. My dad's former law enforcement friends with the two cops, they took the Mountie to jail.
Really?
That was such a great. Jacques Rougeau is incredible in that segment.
That's why I remember that the most from that SummerSlam.
They're with the NYPD. He's like, "Yo, hit cops!
You want a finger?"
Oh my god, that whole thing! I watched that thing. I can't even tell you, when I was in college, I would watch that scene when he was like right before the match, and he has the nightstick in his hand.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want you to treat him like you just talking about how the NYPD is too nice.
Yeah,
because it's the NYPD.
When I think of nice police departments, I think NYPD.
And then obviously later when the Mountie loses and he's being hauled off the jail, is you're hurting me.
Yeah,
because they're doing everything they said to do. And the Mountie was so good. Yeah, he's like another repo man. He was so.
I just bought a Mountie original figure out of the box on eBay.
Really?
Yeah, I got a double pack. Well, double pack, as in they sold the Mountie and the model.
So a part of me, I have to obviously I have more things pressing that I have to pay for, like for
than toys. Yeah.
But I eventually would really love to start collecting that line again, just because
They're cool. Yeah.
I lost all of them in a fire.
And once you get into it, there's so many people like, wow, they made him. Wow, I didn't know that.
I'm not even bullshit. I had almost all of them. Like there was only a handful I didn't have. and I had like the variants. Like when I think Sean had 2 variants, he had a white pants one and a red pants one or something like that.
Well, there's a rocker Sean.
I had a rocker
and then there's,
Sean,
like,
and then like there was
Solo
there was 2 savages that were 2 different like I had a lot. I had lost
Macho
all of them.
King, and then there was a regular Macho Man.
But yeah, it was awesome. But I definitely would love to collect them again. Now, as big independent fans, are you guys also subscribed to IWTV?
I'm not subscribed, but Joe.
Well, I'm gonna go to your YouTube channel. I'll go subscribe.
Yeah, well, it's the website. You go to
No.
independentwrestling.television.com, I believe it is.
It's independentwrestling.tv. It was formerly Powerbomb TV.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
Netflix for indie wrestling.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta check that out.
It's completely loaded, and
I
they're
think it's
always
$9 a month.
$9 a month. But every single weekend they're putting live shows on and stuff. It's a really, really good service.
Yeah.
There.
Beyond Wrestling alone is just pumping out content, and
Oh,
they have
yeah.
a bunch of other places
Yeah.
too.
Mission Pro's on
Beyond-
there too.
Mission Pro, Pro Wrestling Magic. Well, so you where are you guys from again? I know one of you is from Pennsylvania.
Long Island. Right
Okay.
now. Yeah.
Victory Pro may be on that website you just said with the
might
independent.
be.
I don't
I'd
think
have to
they're
look it up.
I don't think they're on anything right now. I think they're just on YouTube.
Yeah, that's a YouTube. That's a group that you should definitely put in your notebook. Victory Pro Wrestling. They have a really good YouTube channel, and their roster, as I've seen, PPW's roster is stacked. You should definitely check out the roster for VPW. If they ever did a cross-state rivalry between VPW and PPW, that would be like a war game situation right
Yeah.
there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm actually on their Facebook right now. I'm gonna look at some of their roster.
They
I'm
got-
going with
You might know
Alpha Junior's there.
crossover.
Yeah.
HC Loke.
Oh, we know him well.
Yeah. Trying to see here.
IWTV is
Oh,
actually $10.
Nunzio's going to be at the next show. Sean Donovan, Richard Holiday.
Richard Holiday will also be at PPW.
we're talking PPW or VPW.
Is this VPW?
Yeah.
This is not VPW. This is
ISPW.
I
you're
put
on.
Yeah, that's
VPN.
ISP. Yeah, that's what I'm going to be at. One of the show. Yeah.
Why did what are they on Facebook? Is
Victory
it VPW? Oh, it's Victory Pro.
Victory Pro or
The ISP, the one that's what I'm going to at the end of the month.
That same promotion is going to have what's his name?
Warriors.
Del Rio there.
Oh,
Oh,
boy.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's terrifying.
That's a
War
no.
Watch.
No,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Controversy.
I'm sorry. I'm not
I know,
I'm not a Del Rio fan.
Lindsay Dorado, one of the bigger, probably the third biggest company in Mexico is The Crash. That's one Conan's involved with. And Lindsay Dorado is trying to back out of the show he's booked on because Marty Skrull will be on the show.
Oh.
And Travis Banks, not bad Banks from Outbreak Wrestling, but Travis Banks that got canceled.
yeah. and that's
So your
not
guys
good.
actually went to pull out of the show because of other guys being on.
Well, they're
Yeah.
not canceled in Mexico.
Yeah, no, nobody's canceled in Mexico. Nobody's
Yeah,
canceled in
nobody.
Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some good wrestlers on the VPW roster. Who do we got? Who's on?
Eric James VSK is on there. Who
Love
else we got?
VSK.
Johnny Collins, the Even Stevens are there. We got Jack, Jack Tomlinson or no?
It does not ring a bell, but
No.
Dante Drago is on there. Absolute Brand, which is Andre and crap. I got a brain fart right now.
There's so many like that. Me and Geek bought these tickets for VPW on like a whim, and it was like last July. We got to go to the show. And me and Geek walked in there blindfolded, like literally, like we didn't know anybody. Like we didn't know anybody. We're wearing our shirts. We're walking around. Hi, we're dudes at ringside. They're like, what? Who?
Now, is it Victory Pro or
Victory Pro. Yeah.
Victory Pro, but VPW is like the initials they use. So
What are you guys doing on what is it? What's our date? On the 30th.
13th?
30.
The 30th of April. I'm going to the show.
Are you going to a show?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm going to
'cause-
the show, that ISP show.
Okay. Yeah, because Outbreak Wrestling is running in the legendary Hamburg Fieldhouse that day too. Yeah, that's a show we'll be at that day. That's gonna be a fun one. But anyway, back to the podcast stuff. So you got in your year of doing this, what are some moments that really stand out for you, or some guests that really stand out?
Geekins.
It's just so hard to pick just one guest because every single one of our guests has been awesome. So we've had Kiara Shorty, Alfie's been awesome. Who else? shit, just so many guests we've had. That on the
Nathan,
pod.
everybody. It's like
Nathan, Sash, Tamaku, Chad Epic has been awesome. You know, so it's just so hard to pick just one guest. I mean, Savannah Summers is another one. Jackson Arrow is somebody you gotta look at. Luna Tricks is another one. So
A
it's
lot
just
of good names there.
Yeah.
there's just so many
But
names.
their best guest that they are trying to tell us is Rembrandt and Cosmic.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Cosmic.
oh, Kyle Geek, your favorite girl, Cosmic.
Rembrandt and Cosmic.
Resident Cosmic, yeah.
And we forgot the most important one of all. And Harley put us on blast.
Bro.
Adina Steele.
Oh, there you go.
Former logo also.
Christina Marie's
Like a
Marie's
2 or
another
3
one.
time guest too.
Great, and Christina Marie. If it, as I said this a few days ago on our podcast, if it wasn't for Medina Steele, we would never have Harley in our chat every single afternoon.
I mean, we had her on the show 3 times. It's the first time Harley hung out with us. No,
Oh, geez, Harley, up putting you on blast.
No, that's all right, Harley. We're only teasing.
I'm making you French fries, Harley. Sorry.
Yeah, Adina's amazing. Adina's she's someone, man, that during the pandemic she put the work in. Like she put on the muscle mass. She really worked on her craft, worked on her promos, worked on her look. She's killing the game.
Yeah,
she's absolutely killing the game.
Yeah. It was so funny that we got Adina like out of nowhere. I messaged her and she's like, "Oh, I'll come on your podcast." And I'm like, "Oh, can you make a promo?" She's like, "Sure." And I got the promo. I'm like, she's sitting in a gym making the promo. I'm like, who's I can picture in my head the people on the opposite side of the camera were laughing at her because she's talking into a camera by dudes at ringside.
Yeah, you done the wrestling back with this. What is she insane?
Yeah,
what is she doing?
What
right
is
now?
she? Is she shooting content for OnlyFans?
Yeah.
What's happening right now? Yeah. She's absolutely amazing. She's one of our favorite. I just feel like, I guess every person in your area, your immediate area, whatever your local independent thing, you're probably like, man, we have it made. Our talent's better than any talent in the world. Like, you know what I mean? And then you look at other talent, you're like, psh, they're nothing on our talent.
Like and don't like it.
Because you develop that familiarity with your local talent, and just it's like our area, man. I love them all. They're all just good people.
I don't love them.
You don't love them all?
I gotta beat them all.
Hey, you gotta beat them all. I was just saying, who do you hate, Andy Heather?
There's no one that I really hate. Most people, retired or
and they
or died.
Or died.
I always say this now, like
coming for you, Rock and Rebel.
Independent wrestling now is like it's like a firewall because there's so many good indie promotions that you could say out loud. Because as a kid, like my era, I'm 38. Like there was really there was independent wrestling, but it was like these people that you didn't even know.
There was ECW back then. There was ECW back then.
It was something that wasn't very known. Like even before I met these guys, I didn't really know much. I didn't know much until AEW came on the scene, and I'm like, oh, who are the Young Bucks? Then I got on New Japan and I YouTubed a lot of their matches and stuff. And then when I met these guys, I realized how much indie stuff is actually around us in our little area here.
Yeah, and you've only really scratched the surface on the indie.
Yeah.
Especially before the internet was big, no social media, like you wouldn't know unless you lived there and you see a flyer. That was the only way you would know. Or you see in the paper if they paid money to put it in the paper.
Yeah. I remember going to the Spectrum, and then when you come out, the car would have a flyer for either.
Oh yeah.
Depending on if it was like the early '90s, it was the Tri-State Wrestling Alliance, and if it was a little bit later, it was ECW. You would always have a flyer in your car when you came out of the Spectrum.
Could you imagine if you would have kept those flyers?
Oh my god,
yeah,
they'd probably be
Just to
worth
see the
something now.
names.
Like you're probably like this junky flyer, and then 10 years later, like
Eddie Gilbert against Cactus Jack. Who wants to see that?
And he's nobody's.
No, but back then, I remember there used to be the Ring of Honor tapes, the VHS tapes. The only way to get those tapes to watch Ring of Honor was get the VHS tapes off the website, and I'll be like, "That's the only way."
The show.
We've
probably seen the greatest collection of those tapes in person. Yeah. So we were fortunate enough to work for a promotion, and we shot some content in the old dojo.
The Worldwide Dojo.
The old ROH dojo was now it's the Worldwide Dojo where world famous CB's at. But that building is where
It was ROH's first office, and then it was their school.
Mhm.
It was everything.
Yes. So we were in the office, and all those tapes are all still
Yeah.
there. And it, like, I mean, that was like Punk's office, Daniel Bryan's office.
Not
Like,
Danielson. It was Punk,
Collapse.
Austin Aries.
Yeah.
Whoever
Yeah,
the head
Samoa
trainer.
Joe.
yeah.
Mojo.
So if that was me, I'd be opening the door. You'd hear the oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You
Golden light shining through. Yeah.
I wasn't
It
even a
could be a
huge
museum.
ROH guy, but that building, you can tell you were somewhere special.
I would hear the door open and hear the sound. I have the smelling salt. What am I? What happened? Get up.
You also had for a little bit. I don't know if it might have been pre-ROH. It might have been closed by the time ROH came around. But RF Video had a little kiosk at the old Franklin Mills Mall in Philly,
Really?
in Northeast Philly.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
There was, I think they just called it the Pro Wrestling Shop, and they would sell all their tapes. I remember buying some like Japanese garbage wrestling tape when I was 12.
Jeez.
Yeah. So what makes it for you guys in independent wrestling? Like, what are some of the things that you're like that makes you fall in love with a promotion?
Like,
Or-
you
Go
go
ahead,
first.
Joe.
Like,
Yeah.
I feel that you always have to start off with either a tag team match or a like. It can't be a match that like makes you want to jump off and to go buy your souvenirs or buy your snack for the night. I feel the first match of the night always has to be either like a tag match or like a singles match of like the younger superstars. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
like a fast paced match.
Yeah.
Somebody
Yeah,
to set the
that's
tone.
Absolutely.
Yeah. For me, it's gotta be the story. For me, like it has to be like a great storytelling. AEW is really good at doing great storytelling, especially when the Hangman versus Kenny Omega. When Hangman finally won the big one, he's never won the big one before, and like even in Ring of Honor, he's never won the big one. So to him finally beat Kenny Omega, become world champion was awesome. So
Yeah, that was some long-term storytelling there.
so that's something that, and when Kenny finally beat Okada in New Japan, that's another great storytelling match right there.
Because it was a great match.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was the second. He won the second. No, the second one was the draw. He won the third
Was
one.
that the 127.5 stars?
Probably.
The first one was
7-star
five.
match.
The first one was what, 5 or 5 and a half.
I think the first one was when they went. Or yeah, the first one was like 5.5,
Yeah,
and then they went 6.
Yeah, because the second one was the hour draw.
Yeah,
And the
which was
third
my
one.
favorite.
Yeah.
My favorite was the draw.
The Wrestle Kingdom one.
Yeah, the second.
I'd have to go watch it. Maybe that should be some future stuff as make Tony watch New Japan. So I
Make Tony watch draws.
yeah.
We'll have to strap him to
Joe
the
hasn't
chair.
seen that match, and I'm still trying to get him to watch that.
Oh, it's fantastic. I
that
mean, yeah,
match.
I don't know. You hear hour match like, oh god. Well, they won your day off.
Yeah.
Hour match. Oh, jeez.
It's really good, Joe.
To end in a draw too,
Well, they usually do. It's a Broadway.
I would kill myself.
I'd be like, you sat here for how long?
1
You're gonna
hour
have
to
to
watch
cuff
a
him
draw.
to the chair.
I was one of those AEW people on Twitter, like, what?
He was so
A match can end
upset.
in a draw. You were like McNabb after that game against the game. A football game can end in a tie.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, no, I know it can happen,
is
but,
this
but I don't
madness?
want it to.
Yeah, but you don't do it all the time.
It's part of the storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
One guy in their company has
And you
been
would have
in
not liked
3 of
wrestling in the
their-
1970s at
In the
all.
80s, and
You would have
Flair,
hated it.
Flair coming to your
It was
town.
all draws and double countouts.
Mhm.
So part of me, actually, we'll say this for a future discussion, but we kind of had a discussion in our private chat of like who your favorite or your greatest of all time list.
Yeah, like your top 5.
I think that would be a fun topic because for the longest time,
everyone's is different.
I always had Flair in my top 3, and then I went back and I'm like, I didn't watch that many Flair matches. It's because people told me he's the greatest of all time. I'd always put him on my list.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, no, I don't
Oh,
think he.
the greatest of all time and your favorite are two different things.
Exactly.
Ric Flair is not my favorite, but he is the greatest of all time.
One of.
Yeah. But anyway, sorry guys, another side tangent there. The what are some future ideas? Like, what are some things you want to do for the future of the podcast? Where do you want to take this to the next step? And who are some guests you would love to have? It's kind of like a 2-parter there.
Yeah, Joe, go ahead.
Like this is something that I've like where we want to be. I just want to get like my name out there even further. Like, because with that show I'm going to on the 30th, again, another show that I'm going in like blinded. Like I don't know anything about the show. I know Tito Santana and Nunzi are going to be there, So I'm gonna be going there with my hat on and my T-shirt and stuff like that. Maybe even bring the red glasses because it's my trademark. So I got to bring the glasses. The ladies want to see them. So I just want to get this podcast known as much as well as I can locally, so people could want to be able to watch us instead of like people that we don't know. Their friend that watched it locally in Pennsylvania, they'll want to watch it and maybe one day get it on the local channel, like a channel 13 or whatever. But I don't know, that would be kind of far fetched, but something like that.
Hey, it's a dream. There you go. Right?
Do you guys go to shows together, or do you guys kind of go separately?
Separate.
Because I live in PA, so I would be going to shows up by me. Like I'm trying to get to a PPW show one day. Geek goes to VPW in Long Island, so like, hey, Vinny, it's my friend.
Yeah.
What's going? Thank you for hanging out. Make sure if you're here your first time, make sure you hit the subscribe, follow us.
Yes.
So, one of the things we did that kind of like a pro tip, if you ever do things together, or even if you have someone to travel with, the car ride home things for us, Brian.
Yes,
that really put us on a different level when it came to the independent scene.
We had a digital. It's called a Zoom. It's a portable recorder. You can hook up microphones to, and we would watch a show. This is before we were helping out with shows, commentary, backstage stuff. We would watch a show, take notes on the ride home, review it.
Yeah,
and we get a lot of attention. Obviously, the companies would love that people are actually engaging with their product. The talent enjoyed hearing about what people thought of their
themselves.
match. Yeah,
well, we were honest too. Like we were like the match.
Yeah,
was,
well, I was just saying, if you came and said this show was great and everyone was great, and people like,
well, no,
what?
I mean,
but then you don't want to say the show sucked and everyone sucked,
right?
You know, like
you can do it in a way where you're honest.
Yes.
But kind.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what that was our approach. Like, I think some people are like, oh, I have to completely lean in and shit on people, and that's what's going to get me seen. And it's like, it might get you attention, but if you want to be really truly welcomed to a company, probably not the best way to go about it.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that don't want to be welcomed. They just want to review their stuff.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. But it's something that I wish we did again. But
yeah,
at PPW, we're split.
The issue with PPW is I usually see a match or a half a match, and my whole role would usually be the note taker. I'd be sitting on my phone, and I'd be looking like I'm not paying attention to the match. I'm taking notes on my phone, watching the show.
And I mean, I have a pretty good seat at PPW, but it's hard to review a show with someone who we had two different experiences because he's backstage helping filming content.
I have a good seat at PPW if you like watching Tom Mitchell, and who doesn't?
Oh, he's a handsome man.
He's great.
Yeah, and coach,
yeah,
coach, another handsome man.
I leave feeling very, very short every time.
And I'm not trying to put coach just coach but Brian over as well, and also Tom Mitchell, but like that, you guys do some unsung hero stuff backstage, like a lot of
it's
stuff.
A lot of fun,
you guys, a lot of the stuff that if you watch the finished product later, the interviews you see, and like if you watch WYLN, a lot of that is filmed by you and helping them out backstage, which is a lot of fun.
And Mitch and Coach do a great job too.
Yeah, and that back Zumba room is the place if you want to have an experience.
It's also the place if it's really hot or really cold.
Yeah,
Because in the winter it's the warmest.
Yeah,
it's the warmest room there, and in the summer it's the only place with air conditioning.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where you want to be.
Yeah. Fantastic. So who are some of your favorite guests you've had on?
You already asked them that.
Oh, I did. But you
can get to my question though.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah. So where do I want to take the podcast?
Yes.
So where I would love to take the podcast is I would love to get more followers. That's obviously a given, and more subscribers. But I hopefully work with a promotion one day. That's another thing.
Well, especially going to them local indies and then you get to know them and just say, "Hey, I'm on a podcast. I'd like to interview some guys." They're usually not going to say no unless they're dickheads for some reason. You know, that's a good way to get in and.
I know it's far for you guys, but if you ever make it to like an outbreak thing, if it's at the field house, there's plenty of room. And I have I know you guys, I don't know equipment wise it has, but I'd be willing to work with you guys to help you guys get some content.
Speaking of the field house, 2 new additions to Legends of Hamburg in July this week.
Oh, I didn't see him.
The Goon.
Oh,
the Goon. I get my finger signed.
The Goon, and Tugboat.
Oh,
Tugboat. Wow.
Get your Shockmaster figure signed.
Yes.
He may fall through the wall. Careful.
Yeah. So more subscribers, and also I would love to if we got more subscribers, I would still love to help out at every single local independent and everything like that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I love talking to the independents, so
And they would love for you
giving back. So
to share their stuff because then that's more people that could possibly
absolutely
come to the show
honestly,
and make more money.
If you approach that company that you worked for and say like, hey, we're gonna do stuff, I'd almost bet my house on the fact they would love to have you because
it's free advertisement.
It's free advertisement.
And a lot of places don't pay for any advertisement. So
it's a lot of good exposure for you to be backstage. They'll probably hand you a camera. They're like it's hard to find good help is what I'm trying to say. And if you're passionate and you love what you're about, smart promotions are going to bring people in who are passionate, and it's only going to help their product.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
I don't know why Vinny keeps typing his name, but we'll keep.
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
We'll plug away Vinny for you. But yeah, it's not only for me, it's just, and then when you work with a promotion and then you really get to connect with that talent and not just on a level of seeing them in the ring, but meeting them backstage and kind of breaking those barriers down and then just developing a relationship and friends with their fan base. Like that's been one of my favorite things, is just developing friendships with the fans. It has been fantastic, but it's just overall a great experience. I definitely recommend it to you guys. If you guys can do it. It's a lot of fun.
I really told Geek, I said, you have to come out to Pennsylvania and come to a PPW show. We have to try to get to a show together.
Yeah.
And I'll try. We're gonna try. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna really try.
No. What part of Pennsylvania do you live in?
I live in Milford.
Okay,
that's Pike.
Pike County.
Yeah, that's up near the border.
I was going to say, that's up near New York there. But
I'm not even sure what runs
close
up
to
there.
Binghamton, because I know you go up there to Excite.
Because one of the people for PPW, I was doing live, and I said, would you guys ever come to Milford? And he was like, oh, Milford, we're thinking about working, maybe coming there. We don't know yet. And I'm like, damn it.
I know they were thinking about showing, what was it, Tunkhannock or something one time?
I mean, anything's possible when they go into Broadheadsville. I thought that was a stretch.
Yeah, I mean, it's working out, but
it's working out great.
Who the hell ever said, "Oh, go to Broadheadsville"?
Yeah.
You know,
there's a lot of wrestling fans in Pike County because back in the day, they had a show at the high school at Delaware Valley, and I like this. I'm like, no one's gonna show up. The place was packed. I was like,
some areas are just so hungry for wrestling because no one ever runs there. You know, I mean, sometimes they run and they don't draw nothing, but sometimes it's just they hit and they get like 400 people and say, wow, this is awesome.
Especially something like PPW where it's an indie that's not a fly by night.
Yeah,
like everything's pretty for the indies. They're pretty high production.
Yeah, it's not like they just all show up and like, I guess we'll put him and him together and that'll be a match and
a broken ring and they run a pretty tight ship.
Or the ring's not here yet.
It's not John the Fisherman versus Larry the maintenance guy.
Yeah,
we had what's his name, El Troubadour, or the worker from Ring of Honor, House of Glory, El Chabajo.
Yeah.
He was like a handyman. That was his gimmick. He was really funny.
Oh, there's the
I don't
gimmick,
remember.
Brian. It's somebody else done it.
Yeah, there's a Spanish version of the gimmick we're trying to give you.
El Chabajo. He was like a maintenance guy. Yeah.
I don't know
he was a PPW.
Oh, I don't remember him at all.
He came with the Ring of Honor, House of Glory guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then obviously we've seen Tommy Vex as a janitor.
Tommy Vex, what a sweetheart. That's someone you need on your podcast, Tommy Vex. You won't have a bad moment with Tommy Vex or Tommy and Barry.
Yeah, Tommy and Mary Beth both. Yeah.
So who are some guests? That was the question I want to ask. Who are some guests you want to get? Like, who are some bucket lists?
Well, I'm a big fan of Rey Mysterio. This is a far-fetched star to grab, but either Rey. If I can't get Rey, is his son.
Okay.
Because Dominic could tell us like stories about with Eddie and stuff like that.
His real dad. Yeah, his real dad.
Oh, you gotta wait for Dominic to get out of the hospital. Now he's been almost killed by Veer Mahan.
Yeah.
For me, it's another stretch. Chris Van Vliet would be pretty cool to have on the podcast. You know,
to be honest with you, not a far stretch.
Yeah.
If you reach out to him, he's very, very willing to work with people. We've had him on the podcast. He's really, really cool.
I emailed him. I did it, the one that someone gave me, and it came flying right back to my phone.
Tweet at him.
Yeah, he'll probably message you back at least.
Tweet at him and say, "Hey, I would love to have you on the podcast. We're big fans. Would you ever be interested?" I would almost guarantee he would.
I wonder if he'll be back at Hamburg this summer.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, he's a really, really cool dude, and like I said, he's very supportive of other podcasters, and like I said, we had him on, and he was a blast.
Okay. I'll work on that.
That's good to know.
Yeah,
I emailed and he came right back to my phone. Like I have Apple. I have
he's active on social media. If you comment on one of his Instagram or Facebook or Twitter posts, and just he will respond or like it or what. He's a good dude.
He follows me on Twitter, so which is strange.
Well, if he follows you on Twitter, send him a message.
Yep.
Yeah. Seriously.
Go get him, geek.
Yeah.
Second geek.
Already done.
Yeah, I got a chance. We got a chance to talk to him all day at 2 shows, and he's a sweetheart.
He ring announced Andy.
Yeah.
The main event in Hamburg.
Yeah, for Andy's main event.
Does he work for CBS? Because there's a guy that works for CBS, the channel, the New York channel that's Van Bleak. I'm like, is that the same Van Bleak?
No, this is
he
Van
told us what
Bleep.
He used to do stuff for like MTV Canada.
Yeah,
but he kind of forged his own path.
Yeah. I think he's out, and he's not in New York. I think he's out of like Florida now.
Yeah.
Or California.
California. I think he's California.
Yeah, he used to be out of Florida.
Yeah, because he has a studio.
He's starting to do more like movie stars and stuff. I've noticed.
Well, he's done that in the past too.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, he's done music, but his show, I guess, kind of gets typecast into a wrestling interview show. But he does a lot of wrestlers, but he does do other things beside wrestling. Like he's actually a huge beer fan. He loves craft beer. He's a huge pop culture movie guy. He loves his movies. Yeah, he works out like a psycho.
Yeah, I had seen a clip on I think it was TikTok of him interviewing 2 ladies, and I cannot remember. They're actors.
He unearthed Killer Cross's legendary Jesse Ventura impression.
Yes.
By the way, Killer Cross, did you see he will be in Philadelphia next month?
Oh.
He's going to be part of the New Japan show at the ECW Arena, or the 2300 Arena.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yuya Uemura against Killer Cross. You have Minoru Suzuki against Tony Deppen.
Wow.
Hiroshi Tanahashi and Chris Dickinson. And a 6-man tag was announced with a bunch of people.
Now, I'm not just saying this, and we don't listen. For the most part, we don't know anything. Like, when I'm saying this,
speak for yourself.
When I'm saying
I know
this,
everything.
Yes, Brian knows everything.
We don't know anything. I'm only saying this because we do talk to Tony. So I'm not saying this as if like we know anything.
Oh.
But do you think that booking? I'm just looking at the poster. You put Tony Deppen against a big guy for Japan.
Mm-hmm.
You put what's his name?
Minoru Suzuki.
No, the other American guy that's wrestling.
Chris
Dickinson, who's been doing very well for both 2 GCW guys that could possibly. Is that New Japan America kind of like we're trying to make some stars here? Maybe something you see.
Well, Chris Dickinson is already a big part of New Japan Strong.
Okay.
Deppen is. I don't think he's done a lot of it, but that might be Deppen not wanting. They do a lot of stuff on the West Coast. That might be Deppen not wanting to travel that much. You would have to ask him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good spot. They know Deppen's a name. They know Deppen's going to help sell tickets. They know Deppen's going to put on a good match.
That'd be a cool company for him to get involved in.
Cool company for anyone.
Yeah, exactly. Essentially, it's I'm boiling down to is I hope this leads to something for him in that company, because I think that New Japan Strong, the America version, has a ton of potential.
Yeah, I mean, and Deppen is a guy who can work with the heavyweights, he can work with the juniors, he can work with anybody.
Yeah. Did you guys get a chance to see any of that card yet?
No,
not yet.
Yeah, it llooks crazy. Did you guys during Mania weekend? What are some of your favorite independent? Did you guys watch any independent shows that happened over that weekend?
Does it consider? Can we consider this as an independent show? Ring of Honor.
Sure.
We watched Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor.
It was very good.
I thought FTR versus Briscoe's match of the weekend for me.
Yeah,
100%.
I agree.
Yep.
It's hard to top it.
I gave it 753 stars.
And a quarter.
And a quarter,
And a quarter. Don't forget that quarter.
Yeah. The quarter was for Mark bleeding for no reason.
Yeah. Cutting himself for absolutely no reason.
And I watched Masha wrestle a bear.
Yes.
There's another person I'm a huge fan of. I love me some Masha Slamovich.
Masha's been on a podcast, but she was very tired. She was in that all women's pay-per-view.
Empower?
Yeah.
She does not stop working. She's always working. If she's not at a show, she's at a gym. If she's not at a gym, she works and works and works.
Yeah, I was just about to say, we asked if Masha would ever wrestle Minoru Suzuki, and she said, I would love it.
She's
Masha's not afraid to wrestle anyone.
Masha will wrestle anyone with a
clip
pulse.
is on Instagram and it's on TikTok. That clip. Like, do you want to take a forearm?
Forearm from Minoru or a chop from Walter? She's like, I would take them both.
Take a pose. She laughed. She laughed. Oh, I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, okay.
Supposedly, I gotta see the match of her and Akira.
Oh, really?
Where they just, I have to see it yet, but I heard they, like we talked about wrestling over everything, where they just killed each other.
Yeah, it's it'll make that dirty dishes match with Ty and John Morrison
look like Sesame Street.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Did Suzuki ever wrestle Walter? Because that made me think of that.
Yeah. I believe they did wrestle. I know. I was thinking of Walter and PCO.
I don't know.
PCO. Yeah.
They may not have. And it's Gunther.
Do you guys?
Oh, yeah.
You guys have any questions?
Oh god.
You guys have any questions for them?
Is there anybody in the big leagues that you're really into right now, like AEW, WWE?
Geek.
Kenny's my favorite, but he's injured. Not injured, taking time off right now. So
Yeah, he's not slated to come back. I think until like early summer.
3
almost.
surgeries.
Yeah.
3? What?
Yes.
Yeah.
He had like
shoulder,
bicep, something like the shoulder, and
Was it
then a
both shoulders, too?
hernia.
I don't know. I think it was only one. But I'm not sure. I think maybe something is one leg or something. I know it was a lot.
hernia too.
Yeah. Sports hernia, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah,
From carrying the company for a couple months.
Yeah.
Not only that, he's been working in Japan too. So for so long, man.
Yeah, he's been running candle at both ends for years.
Yeah,
and that style is not friendly on the body.
No.
Like
but he is one of the best.
I like watching the Raws and SmackDowns, but like I'm really in my I'm really getting really into watching the new NXT.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's getting.
So you're
really
the one.
You're the one keeping it on.
Dang, my little bedroom. They're like, Joe's liking it. We keep it going.
We have one fan over in Milford, Pennsylvania.
Like it's like our show. We have one person watching us. Don't get mad. Don't say something stupid, Joe. Oh, I'm gonna go on a rant. Boom. No.
we lost a
They're
fan.
gonna look at the Peacock numbers. They're gonna see NXT Takeover Milford. This is our stronghold now.
It's kind of like that one guy who keeps it alive in Tanzania.
Yes.
Yeah. Podcast is huge in back in the top 10.
Yes, so
back in the top 10.
Thank you, Tanzania.
Thank you, Tanzania. We're huge in Tanzania.
Wow, you guys go. That's like us with England.
14%.
14% in England.
Wow, awesome.
We are ranked in the top 10. We were ranked number 1 for a couple weeks and number 2 for like 4 months as the number 2 wrestling podcast in Tanzania on Apple Podcasts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations, guys.
That's
Crazy.
awesome.
We've been number 10 or number 11 for another 3 weeks, and then now we just came back into 10. So we've been like solid top 10 for
What if they had like an indie,
6 months.
a Tanzanian indie we
should
could
wrestle.
review?
I just want one person to message us. They just be like, "It's me."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's me.
I'm
some
just
strange name.
I'm just gonna keep coming up with gimmicks for you now, Andy. You're gonna be the Power Uti of Tanzania.
Oh,
You're gonna be
God.
Power Andy,
You're gonna be like
the great Power
At
Andy.
least I don't lose.
That's right.
Harley's dad. Hello.
There he is.
Man of the hour.
There he is.
Mendy.
Another great person. I always look forward to seeing at PPW.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How did you guys find Tornado Tag Podcast?
I saw you guys on Instagram, and I was like, guys, they seem like good people. And I watched some of your clips, and I'm like,
Boy, did we fool him? We got him.
brought him in with the dough ears and hit me in the head with the bat as I walked through the door.
So you said you've seen our clips?
Seeing your clips, you guys all seem like you're cool with podcasts. I was like, all right. And your
Kelly's
logo.
the mastermind behind the clips.
Oh, I do
It
my
really
best.
is a tornado tag.
It really is.
Geek would go to tag me, and he would shove me over the thing, and I would lose the match. Yep. Yeah.
Is there any bucket list people you want to interview on the independent scene? I know some of you guys put some names out there that are like Rey Mysterio and Chris Van Fleet, but any independent superstars?
That's my dad, by the way. He's watching.
Gary?
So, yeah.
That's
Hi, Dad.
a geek right there.
That's it. So, but
I would say you go first, Geekins.
no, you go ahead, Joe.
The one I want, I've been trying, but like she's too busy and she wouldn't message us back anyway. It's Mariah May from England. She's like a really big name that just came to America for WrestleMania weekend. She was here.
What show does she wrestle?
She wrestles in England. She wrestles. Oh god, she's in a bunch. She has like 3 different title belts in England.
Wow.
She has her picture of her that she was selling is like this with the belts.
Okay.
Like around her waist on top of another belt.
The next Tony Storm.
Yeah, she has
Tony Storm's from New Zealand.
Yeah.
Whoops.
I was gonna say
She was part of
I was
UK.
gonna say-
She was on that
Oh.
UK show.
I was gonna say, what
It's a Commonwealth
does
state.
she have a big behind?
Yeah.
Sort of.
The next B Priestley. The next.
Oh, there you go.
there you
Pete
go.
Priestley.
Yeah.
Sorry. There you go.
The
Kaylee
next,
Ray.
Kaylee. Well, she's Scottish, but
Oh,
yeah,
that's
it's
right.
the UK. The next. Oh, why can't I think of the name?
That evil UK. Cody Rhodes
Yeah.
fought against them.
Who's the one with Britt? I can't think of her name.
Jamie Hayter.
Yeah, thank you.
Jamie Hader. Yep.
I'm actually really stoked for Jamie Hayter and
Tony
Tony Storm.
Yeah, should be good
I
because they were
didn't-
both in Stardom.
Real quick, before you say yours, Metal, I have one quick complaint that AEW is doing. How do you have a tournament?
I have several.
Yeah.
How do you have a tournament
Uh-huh.
and can't tell us any other person who's in it?
Brackets.
Like you can't show us the bracket. We're like, we're still figuring this out week to week.
Yeah. That I was upset with that too.
You're like, is it 8 women? Is it 16?
I try not
When
to.
it-
Is it
is this-
100?
when
And
is the-
20?
When are the
Yeah.
finals supposed to be for this? A double or
Double or
nothing,
Nothing, I believe, yeah.
right? Well, double or nothing is letting a little more than a month away, a little like around a month
Yeah.
and a half away.
AEW's booking. There's not a lot of middle ground. It's either really good or really bad.
I like how it's
So-
like Britt Baker versus some girl you've never seen before.
Tony Khan, I think, could use an assistant booker.
I was just gonna
He,
say
could, he
that.
could use a little bit of help.
He could use a little bit of help.
He needs Metal Geek.
Yeah.
No, this is Tony Khan. I'll give
Yeah.
him coffee. Don't worry.
There you go.
I like Brian's quote. He said he needs a little help in the common sense.
Yes, he
department.
needs a director of common sense.
Mhm.
That'll be me.
Yeah.
That's
Gabe's
the-
available. Gabe's not doing it.
Yeah, Gabe would be the perfect guy.
Yeah. So you're
Tony Khan, if you're listening, there's a perfect candidate right here.
Hey, we could
Both
both
of them.
Brian, way better than he can.
yeah. Who Metal? Who is your pick
I
for
think
it?
he'd be really interesting. Bobby.
Oh, me? Yeah,
Orlando.
totally. Yeah. I would.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you.
What did you say? Then we kind of cut you off.
Bobby Orlando would be awesome to have on the podcast because he's
Absolutely.
just so energetic and everything. So
Mhm.
I feel like he would be the perfect person for a podcast.
Nice.
Where does
Yeah.
he wrestle out of? I'm not familiar. With
VPW, Victory Pro, Creative Pro.
okay,
I
I just looked at their roster and they did seem. I seen Adam Kane is on Victory Pro.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wrestled him. He used to be in GSW back in the day. He was
Yeah.
a tag team called the Falcon Squad or something like that.
That
Oh my
victory,
God.
that Creator Pro show you sent me was pretty. They said
Creative
also
Pro is yeah, that's Kurt Hawkins.
Kurt
Yeah,
Hawkins,
yeah.
VSK's out of there.
Yeah, VSK both.
Yeah.
VSK trained
Mhm.
there.
Yeah.
And well, I was going to say Pat Buck, but he's now in AEW. He left WWE and he's now an agent for
He's back in
AEW.
Creative Pro. He's back.
Oh,
in
is he
Creative-
nice?
Yeah, he's back
Excellent.
in Creative Pro. So
Yeah,
he was
VSK.
kind
That is where. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, they're like, but yeah, he came back at the last Creative Pro show. It's on Twitch, by
Awesome.
the way. So they streamed the live shows live.
And
That-
Maven now Creator Pro.
Oh yeah, that's right. That is where MJF came from. That
I wonder if that
did that deal get brokered at my table?
it might have.
Oh my goodness,
The-
VSK and Maven were getting along very well. They were.
He helped with a meet and greet at PPW, and he was with like VSK and
Maven.
Maven were at the same table, just talking with him all day long. So maybe
And
maybe
the
you were there for
nicest
the
guys. Like,
you were there for the spark.
couldn't have asked to be with a nicer group of people.
And Maven is also a giant Commanders fan. So
Well, nobody's perfect.
yeah,
Nobody's perfect.
That name is so weird. I can't picture that as a real NFL team. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm
Well, they're
trying.
not a real NFL
I'm
team.
still trying to wrap my head around
it's
it.
like when you play Madden and you make your own football team. That's what it's like.
It is pretty rough, but we're gonna grit our teeth and get through it. All right.
Yes, it's like,
You're gonna grit your teeth every time the North Dakota guy drops back. Every single time.
What if he turns into a mega star?
He won't.
You're right.
He won't.
We're talking about Carson Wentz.
football.
Anything you guys want to get out there that maybe we didn't cover?
Um,
All our social medias, actually, right?
Well, everything is linked below. Is there a topic you guys want to talk about, or do you guys want to hang out with us when we talk current event stuff?
Yeah, we could talk. We can hang out. Yeah,
Yeah,
why
we have nothing
not?
else to do.
Do you have
You have no friends beside me and geeks. Sadly.
Well, welcome to our friend circle.
Yeah.
do you have any specific plans for your next episode?
Yeah.
Our next episode, we're actually doing it tomorrow with a podcast from New York City. They're called the Dirty Heels.
Mm.
No, I know the Dirty
As
Heels.
a part of podcast month. So
This is podcast month. That's why I wish we could have got you guys all to come on, but you guys all have jobs and lives and things going on.
yeah.
So
one
we
day.
can always pre-record an episode.
Sure.
whenever-
Yeah, let it. Saturdays and Sundays are pretty tough for all of us right now. I would say maybe like Sunday afternoonish would probably work the best, or like a Friday night, but it really depends on everybody. But maybe a Friday night we can jump in with you guys.
Yeah,
Friday night sounds good. Yeah.
Shoot us a couple dates after this is done, and we'll definitely set that up.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. That's no biggie.
All right. What's some current event stuff we got going on?
Well, I mean, the big news, the sad news was the injury for Shinjiro Otani at the 0-1 show in Japan.
Any update on that?
Still unable to move his arms and legs. Undergoing spinal surgery.
Now he was the first WCW Cruiserweight champion.
And he also wrestled Nick Gage.
Yeah.
And how old was he exactly?
He is, I think, like 49, 50. He's younger than you would think.
Yeah.
What? I didn't see the bump. Was it bad?
I didn't see it either.
They said it was a German suplex into the turnbuckle.
Yeah, I think it was a German suplex into the turnbuckle.
Kind of like I guess when they throw them over the head and they kind of hit their neck on the bottom turnbuckle, which is a little, I don't know, maybe not the best move to take.
Yeah. Most guys now, they kind of like their legs hit the ropes, but their shoulders and neck land on the mat.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Japan. They do things a little stiffer there. Like you got to be careful with those older guys.
It just really goes to show that one different centimeter of a move or how you land maybe a hair differently. Like Big E somehow can walk and do everything still. And the doctor said if you would have fell maybe a quarter inch a different direction, we could be talking a different story right now.
He was very, very lucky.
Yeah,
that was a terrible, terrible bump.
And then you have somebody like Madcap Moss who landed right on this, and he was okay.
Yeah, perfectly fine. So it's weird. I mean,
I don't think he's gonna be Madcap anymore either.
Yeah,
looks like he's going babyface.
They turned on each other, those two, which is probably for the best because both gimmicks were horrible.
Yeah, that ran its course. That was another one. Madcap Moss is like Ezekiel. It's just and Happy Corbin. It's all like you might as well just have flashing lights behind it. Bruce Pritchard, Bruce Pritchard.
But Ezekiel, Elias's brother, made his debut this week.
Well,
last week.
He wasn't even on the show this week. They just talked about him.
Yeah. What they dropped it already?
That would be great.
I hope they don't.
Well, who was posted? What was it? Elias's father, and then it was just Elias like with gray beard, like Photoshop,
like an aged.
Yeah.
As if someone were to put his photo in the age thing on Snapchat.
Yeah.
Because that's not what the photo. That's just clearly his dad. They're not the same person. They took a picture together, everybody.
The only thing about the storyline is usually when someone does this, there's a reason why they're doing it. Hulk Hogan got fired, so then Mr. America came to SmackDown. Dusty Rhodes got fired.
Harley saying,
so
bro, he is Elias. He's clearly not Elias. They took a picture together.
But it makes no sense.
Yeah, like, I saw that on Insta. I was like, wait, well, what just happened? Am I drunk? Did my dad put something in my drinks again?
Elias will be a tag team with Ezekiel by the end of the year. I'm calling this right now.
Oh my god.
Harley, real quick. We know, but just go along with it.
Well, here's the thing. If Ezekiel finally wrestles and he's good, maybe he's not Elias.
Yeah.
Maybe he is a different person.
First off, how dare you? Second off,
Elias is gonna come out and trick us, swerve us all, playing the guitar, be like, "I told you all, but dumbasses."
Let's do the Bruce Pritchard thing. What's your favorite Elias match?
All of them.
What's your favorite Elias match? Don't say all of them.
All of them.
Don't say all of them. You can't name one.
The last one I seen.
His shtick was good though. I still think his shtick was good, being the traveling troubadour type guy.
His best thing was that 2 minutes with Seth Rollins when he hit
Kevin
the
Owens.
elbow.
Oh,
and then he threw him out of the ring, and they went out of the ring and clotheslined him, and threw him back in the ring and hit an elbow, something like that.
Yeah,
that was the best.
My favorite
his career.
My favorite thing is when he debuted and he was just walking through the crowd with his guitar over his back.
I like.
He lost his last name though.
I like when him and Kevin Owens roasted Seattle and said, "This is why you don't have a basketball team no more." And they booed him for like 4 minutes straight.
I can't remember.
Samson.
That was a great clip, by the way. Great clip.
The Drifter.
Yeah,
I liked it when it was that, and that's kind of when I
just
Kevin
love
Owens, by the way, Kevin Owens was laughing during that.
Yeah, 100%. I love Kevin.
He was trying to keep a straight face, but he was like this. His mouth was like this, and he was trying to. It was the funniest clip I've ever seen. They hated Kevin Owens that night.
Yeah, it was awesome. Kevin Owens is one of my favorites. Any other things?
Yes, Samoa Joe beat Minoru Suzuki for the ROH TV title and got beat up by some big tall guy.
Yeah, that nobody knew
or cared about.
Lights off. Oh, who's that?
Yeah, lights off at the end of a show. Oh, this is going to be a big surprise.
It's Claudio.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's the Great Khali.
So. Once again,
I
don't know what to believe or not to believe because the internet wrestling community that's like just to put their own opinions out there and act like they actually came up with it. But from one of the things I was reading is possibly, I guess, they have a deal for AEW in India.
Yes.
And this
Satnam Singh is the guy's name.
And this is a way for them to kind of pull the Great Khali move where
that worked when they put the belt on Jinder.
Yeah.
Was he really an NBA player like they were saying?
I have no idea.
But if that's true, and WWE did think that way, do they think that the Indian people are so stupid that they're like, there's one of our guys, we love him, we got to watch that show?
Yeah,
they
but
think like white Americans.
Yes, he did play basketball.
Like,
yeah, okay, so that was true then last night. I was wondering if how much of that was actually true and not.
What do you got?
I don't know. The difference is that Khali was already a superstar even before he went to WWE.
Well, and this guy's kind of the same deal because he's like an NBA player.
Yeah, he was a fringe NBA player.
To them, he's a megastar. To us, we're like, no idea.
Yeah. He's Indian Giant Gonzalez.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and like he came out and he threw Samoa Joe into the steps. It's like, oh,
with the weakest force of it.
Like, it's basically like Tony Khan watched WWE and it's like, Omos, huh? We need one of those.
Yeah,
we need that.
We do need that.
That whole thing felt so WWE.
That whole last hour of Dynamite was awful.
You have an Omos. Her name's Jade.
No, Jade's actually
better.
Good.
She's getting better.
No,
too.
I like Jade. I'm just
the,
poking fun.
The Warner Brothers takeover there. They were saying that the lady who runs TBS is taking over all of Warner Brothers now, and she wants to see, I guess, more variety or whatever.
Discovery is buying you.
Discovery's buying.
And supposedly they can't do as much blood and guts anymore, or blood.
That's what they're rumored to. But I mean, until it happens,
you know what? And that's kind of okay in a sense for me because
you mean I'm not gonna get to say shit 80 times a show?
Yeah,
the blood is getting a little much.
I don't mind the blood, but sometimes it's a little.
The
sometimes
death matches are a little much now too for me. Like save them. They only did
one real death match.
Yeah,
and they'll never do it again.
Yeah,
the pizza cutter.
Yeah, with a Domino's commercial.
Oh yeah,
and
two death matches.
And now this one with Hangman on Friday.
That's not really a death match. It's a Texas death match. It's not
an
actual death match. It's you have to beat a 10 count. In WWE it would be called a last man standing match.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What about the fireworks? Isn't there a fireworks in Texas death match?
Yeah, and an exploding barbed wire.
The exploding barbed wire.
Oh, he's talking about the exploding barbed wire match.
I think they might redo that like 3 years down the road. And
you think they try
to make up for it?
You still need to let that cool off. Let that
They
cool
actually
off
did do that. They actually did do that in New Jersey. Actually,
that worked out great.
No, it was awesome. Did you guys see it or no? Onita was
the guy who was in it, we actually got to rent out of his building a couple times, and he did not do very well after that.
In the hospital for a week.
He was in
like 2 weeks.
He was in a burn triage for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
He got messed up real bad. I mean, to him, he probably loved it. I mean,
not being in the hospital, but
but I mean, loved the experience. But as a fan, like that's where I struggle with deathmatch and the harder stuff is like because I became somebody.
Is it worth it?
You become friends with them, and you're like, don't do that, man. Like, I love you. Don't do that.
Yeah, it's not like Matt's our friend, but it's like, he was cool with us, and like I don't want to see him in a burn ward for 2 weeks.
You don't want to see anybody.
I mean, you don't want to see anybody in a burn ward, but when you meet someone, you develop a little bit more of a connection. You know?
Yeah, it's just
it's tough.
It's good to watch every once in a while, but like I noticed this, like when you followed certain promotions on Instagram or social media, they'll pop on the feed to look at. Like I had to tell Geek, I had to unfollow some of the pages because you would get the videos would pop up and it was like this guy using like almost like a giant thing with the light tubes all in one launch, and you're like, oh my god,
yeah,
geez.
I don't want to take away from the style, but like I just feel like sometimes in professional wrestling, talent doesn't get paid, and then on top of it, you're gonna go do that,
and then go to the hospital, and then lose all your money, and then
and then not only not get paid very well, but in their minds, they think if they go and do this,
and then
they're gonna. This is like if they go crazy enough, that's gonna get them seen to get put on a bigger platform. And I'm not trying to like discredit deathmatch wrestling. But no one from a major company is looking at a guy getting hit with a tube and go, man, he was so extreme. I want him in my company. That's just not what you're not going to get signed for that. And it's just like, is it worth possibly almost dying? Like Nick Gage he died in a helicopter doing that.
Even if you get cut, right? And the guy can't do it there, you have to go to the hospital. That might be $600.
Yeah.
They ain't paying you $600 for that match.
Dude, and how many of you guys don't have insurance?
Yeah.
it's just it, and that's the kind of like I guess
And
the
it's not like
adulting
you can exactly walk into the hospital and say, "Oh yeah, I got this doing a death match," because then your insurance actually goes out the window too. If you actually have insurance, you kind of got to lie and say, "Oh, I fell off the ladder."
I fell into this pile of white tube.
That's with racing too. The same thing with racing. If you get caught in a racing accident, you go in the next day and you say, "Oh, I fell off my roof."
Yeah,
because that's like the catch-all.
It's tough, and I guess that's where the adulting part of my brain is just like, is it worth it?
And they also try to always outdo each other too.
Yeah, and I never
crazy.
want to discredit someone's art, because if that's your art and you're passionate, please chase that dream. It's just hard for me as a fan to wrap my head around
the
it.
deathmatch thing is like it's a culture. Like, the people that love it really love it. Either the performers and the fans, they love it.
Yeah, and I think it's easier for people just like F that, it's garbage, move on. But it's just like, no, that's some people who are in that.
It's not my flavor of my preferred.
But I do respect people's ability to express themselves in a form of art, and if that's their niche and that's what they like doing, I'm not going to sit here and say what you're doing is discredited. But it's just hard.
I do too. But if you're like, my art is I set myself on fire and run around on the street, maybe you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I also like Jackass, but anyway,
you do.
Some people like watching the old school horror movies, and some people
car crashes.
Yeah.
Some people listen to Tornado Tag, and some people think that would be awful. You know, everyone's into their thing.
Yeah.
Tanzania, we love you. Anyway, any more?
Anything else?
Battle for the belts on Saturday night.
Yeah.
They quickly threw that on too. Like that wasn't promoted very much.
Yeah, and then Rampage is like 7:00 tomorrow, I think, or something
it's
like
a
that.
live one.
Yeah, because the NBA playoffs are starting, so Rampage is going to get thrown off.
And the main event for Battle of the Belts is Thunder Rosa versus Nyla Rose. I don't see Thunder Rosa losing. And also they added Jonathan Gresham versus Dalton Castle for the ROH title. I was like, whoa,
sick.
Wow,
super cool.
Yeah, so awesome. That should be a good match.
And then we are getting huge news.
They also have to be careful, by the way.
Arthur Ashe.
By the way, they have to be very careful with all these Ring of Honor things. AEW is really seriously into the too many belts territory now.
Yeah,
way too many belts. It's like when they did the invasion.
And there's so many belts. It was insane.
And the WWE.
I don't think the ROH titles are going to be defended on AAA. I think they're going to be.
Not when they get a televised show.
Yeah, I think
for themselves.
That's what's going to turn into.
So you were saying
the big, huge news. We're going to go around the table. We'll start with our guests.
Well, first, you weren't watching at the time. Brian knows, and they probably know if they watched. In TNA, every other week there was a huge announcement by Dixie Carter, and every other week you were like, last week or 2 weeks ago. The huge announcement was not very huge.
Yeah.
And after a while, it was the boy who cried wolf, like, oh, another huge announcement. Okay.
I honestly couldn't do a timeline of every time they said there's a big announcement and remember what each one was.
Yeah.
But I can't remember them doing an announcement and being like, boo. Or like, oh, that's not really that big. Like, oh, like even if it was just like, hey, we have a big announcement, we have a great show coming up, or we're coming back to New York. Like, I know it's not huge, but I get it.
It's something to stimulate.
You got to be careful. You do it one too many times, and you're done forever.
Yeah.
But do you think the last big announcement wasn't big enough?
No, the Ring of Honor one was huge.
Purchase of ROH.
Yeah, that was big.
That was a big announcement.
I mean, if you don't give a damn Ring of Honor, you don't care.
Yeah.
So we'll start with you guys. What are your predictions for the big announcement?
I'm gonna say is I think it's gonna be Arthur Ashe or something to do with the New Japan, like a working relationship with. Because the thing is, now you could be able to go to Japan now, and you don't have to really quarantine right now. So I think so I think some of their guys might be coming over.
Well, they did put on out as an announcement on New Japan's side that if you are in Japan and you want to watch Dynamite, it will be on your New Japan streaming service.
Yeah, New Japan World.
Yeah,
New Japan World.
Japanese commentary.
Yes. So New Japan World is now featuring AEW content on it.
And you also have...
That's kind of crazy.
It is. You also have New Japan apparently is trying to get visas for American talent. So that door is going to be opening.
Yeah.
Cool, man. When that door opens,
the G1 is going to be fun. Yeah. Punk in the G1.
Tanahashi said he wants to wrestle Punk and Danielson, I believe it was.
I want to see Okada versus those two.
Yeah, I want to see Okada versus the whole roster.
I think this is the year you blow your load. Like any match you could possibly get, you try to get in that tournament. Like Okada versus
you would. So it's the round robin. So you got the 8 guys that all wrestle each other once.
I think it's gonna be 10 again.
Okay, and then
it should be 10 again if
that
all
all
wrestle.
Yeah, and then the winners of each one. So you will get those matches no matter what. of who you put in block A and block B.
Okay.
So,
I don't want to go too far off our predictions, but G1, right? So you have 10 on each side.
It's a round robin.
10 guys, and now all them guys will all wrestle on the. So everyone in block A, those 10 guys, all wrestle each other once.
Yes.
Right, and then whoever gets the most points, because that's how you win, goes on to like wrestle
So is
the
it
winner of block B.
Is it? Sorry.
If I'm in block A and I
how many total wrestlers?
20.
20.
But they don't all wrestle each other. Only these 10 guys wrestle these.
This side of the bracket and this side of the bracket.
It's like
and then
baseball
full
before
guy.
they had interleague play.
Yeah.
Okay. Now here's what I'm gonna ask. Do they do this year with this G1 if they can do it? Or if you were a booker, fantasy booking, do you do 10 Japan stars and 10 American stars?
Yeah, but you'd have to put them together because you wouldn't want all the Americans.
Yeah, you would
put
you would
5
mix them
Japan
up.
and 5 American on this
That's
side,
fine.
and
Yeah.
5 on this side.
Yeah.
Who are the 10 Americans you book?
I think it's probably gonna be maybe like 4
Yeah, I probably. Yeah,
or 6.
I'd say if they want, they would want Kenny, and they're
Kenny.
probably gonna get Punk, Danielson, and then they would want Mox or Miro.
I love all 5 of those.
Yeah.
I was actually say I would love Miro to be
Yeah.
over there.
Miro do great over there.
I know they wanted Brody Lee, but no,
The dream match I still want.
Malachi.
I could see them wanting him. Yeah,
The dream match I still want
Gresham.
is that would be another good.
if he's. I mean, maybe they'll
Because Malachi has been itching.
New Japan might sign Gresham themselves because
Malachi has been dying to go to Japan.
Yeah,
He's like the reason I went to WBE.
I don't think he was ever. He was never New Japan.
But he always said, even growing up watching TV, he didn't watch WWE. He watched New Japan Wrestling. That was his so he's like itching to get over there.
All I want, and I don't care who does it, where it is, I want Miro and Tomohiro Ishii. That is a dream match. For me.
Yes, I agree.
You put Jericho in the block if he
No,
I don't think
No.
Jericho.
he's a
can-
little old.
Yeah,
That's
past.
10 matches you have to wrestle.
You
in
have to
the span
wrestle
of-
10 hard matches in a month.
Yeah, I knew there was some sort of like day after day, like you have to.
And
keep
then when you
going.
have the days off, you wrestle multi-man tag.
Yeah, it's
which
a lot.
aren't that bad, but it's a.
can AEW afford to lose those guys?
Yes, I would.
Yeah, for 1 month.
A
Yeah,
month,
they have a ton of people.
Yes.
People disappear off of AEW TV all the time.
Yeah, Ruby
Yeah.
Soho.
Yeah,
She resurfaced though. She's gonna be in the.
If they could guarantee that they have like a backup plan, say, okay, we're gonna pluck these guys, and we're gonna pluck these guys. You know what I mean? Like rotate
be like-
guys out.
They're like, it's your time to shine now,
Yeah,
Hangman.
We got to plan ahead a little.
And
bit.
they're
We
gonna
can't
want
just-
they're gonna want something. Okay, and we get Okada, and we get this,
Yeah.
and we get that.
Yeah.
Dude, the super. What's the main like their WrestleMania? The Thunder
Kingdom.
The Wrestle Kingdom. That could even be crazy because you get some matches where you're like, okay, we didn't get a chance to wrestle each other in the tournament, but now we're gonna wrestle each other
at Wrestle King.
at Wrestle Kingdom.
They can have the open.
They want to do
Cool.
Mox versus Tanahashi for like the longest time, for like 2 years now.
Yeah, they're building it up. So I think Wrestle King this year. Well, not next year because it's always the very like the
Or
4th
it's
of
New Year's Day.
January.
Yeah, so I like that prediction. I like the working relationship between New Japan and AEW. I think
What if
that'd be
they
fun.
did this? What if Block A was in the United States and Block B was in Japan?
Oh, they could do that. Yeah.
That'd be
Holy
awesome.
fuck!
Yeah. It would have to be. They would have to put it in like the Garden or something like that. One of them has to be the Garden for the G1.
Especially when the big matches, because there's always like a couple lower end guys in there.
Yeah.
Like
Yano, and
yeah. So then,
Yoshihashi. all-
that ain't gonna be the main event, but that could be like the opening match or something.
I think this if they were to do that, where they would load up with the American stars over there, I definitely see New Japan subscriptions going way up.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Jericho Brawler, just Jericho.
Yeah, Jericho Omega. The first time they wrestled, like it added like what 10,000-15,000
Yeah.
subscriptions in New
It's
Japan
awesome.
World.
All right, your prediction, Joe.
What's going on? I don't know. I just feel that they're gonna have to like amp up their like hype for the match because like you don't want to just have like it's like the AEW roster right now is like stacked. There's so many people. It's kind of hard to say who you want to see fight because is so many people in New Japan that would be great against a lot of these wrestlers now here in America. They're in AEW. You know what I mean? It's really hard.
So your prediction is also going to stay with the New Japan collaboration?
Yeah. Because
Andy. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
and like and also we got like I'm splicing with because now you got Ring of Honor. It could be another big. They could be doing a Ring of Honor pay-per-view in a place that we all know Ring of Honor is known for. Have it at the Hammerstein.
Hammerstein would be awesome.
Yeah.
You'll have pay-per-view at the Hammerstein. That's partially more like an ROH versus AEW like pay-per-view. They have like ROH wrestlers versus AEW wrestlers. So it was like almost like a
War games, like a war match,
like
right?
a war game. Yeah, almost like a war games, or like
Yeah.
almost like
Blood
a
and
one
guts.
night stand.
ROH versus CZW Redux.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Death.
Do like a one night stand thing. Have it at the Hammerstein and make it like the big last ROH show.
Yeah,
that we're all gonna remember forever. Something like that. You know what I mean?
I agree. I think the possibilities of ROH is endless, and I hope they really hit the ground running with it. Your prediction? Andy.
I don't really have a streaming service like their own.
You're going streaming
They
service.
have
maybe ROH and HBO Max.
yeah. Or what was it? The Honor Club, which I'm assuming is dead.
It's still currently on.
Maybe they take that and then retool it, and that's now AEW.
Yeah,
in America.
The rumor is he was saying the HBO Max deal where they might.
That's been the rumor for a while, but like
because they're so tied in with Warner Media, the pay-per-views.
You get on there. I mean, you'd have to share. More people would see it, but if you had your own streaming service, it'd be all your own money. So there's positives and negatives to both.
Yeah, Brian,
video game release date.
Oh, okay.
There it is.
Probably correct.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like.
Do you think they're going to go with the teaser of this year, September?
I think I'm gonna get a teaser trailer and then the actual release date.
Oh, okay.
Does Kenny come out to announce it?
He could.
Yeah.
I don't think does Kenny come out to announce a video game though, or does he come out with his? You see Kenny when he's
maybe
back.
a video of Kenny.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
It would. Yeah.
What if when the video game comes out, they're like, by the way, DLC, ROH, New Japan, like where you could like
ROH is kind of like, well, maybe that's kind of your roster anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, I get to play as Bandito.
Yeah. I mean,
they don't have the license to those guys because they're on their deals either.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
Kelly.
I'm hoping it's going to be the HBO streaming service type like combination factor. Like maybe we'll get our pay-per-views and stuff on HBO if we want, like if that happens, instead of like a buy thing. If not, that's what my heart's saying. I'm hoping for that, but intuition is telling me I think it's going to be some sort of pay-per-view for Ring of Honor, like another pay-per-view, big pay-per-view.
Okay.
Because they only have for a year?
Yeah.
Full Gear, All In, Double or Nothing, Revolution.
I only know Supercard of Honor and Final Battle, and then I had like
my prediction is
Glory by Honor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe they'll throw an ROH one in there.
I think my prediction kind of going to go hand in hand with the streaming service one. I think we get a streaming service deal, but I also think that ROH is going to be exclusive to whatever streaming deal they do. I don't think ROH gets a weekly television slot.
It's very possible.
I think it starts off as how NXT was,
Yeah.
where NXT was only on the network,
which makes sense. It drives people to get whatever. Services.
And I think that's where you're like, you want to watch ROH. ROH will be exclusive to whatever streaming service platform we go to.
Yeah.
So no one thinks it's a person.
I don't think it's a person.
No.
Who could it be? Like, what
I mean, who
person's
would
out
it be? I mean,
Cesaro.
if it's like John Gargano, I'd be like, not that huge.
Like now,
Well, then again, the Hall of Famer was Christian.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
I mean,
And then CM Punk shows up a few months later.
I mean, a name to, like, if your announcement is the working relationship with Japan and music hits and a huge Japan star comes out and everyone's like, what is he doing here? And then like maybe 2 or 3 of them walk out because the visa's up and they're like, we're here, like we're like not like an invasion, but almost like that Forbidden Door.
I still want it done the way I always say I want it done, where a heel wins a big match at the end and then the money just starts falling down.
yeah.
And that's how you kick open the Forbidden Door.
Maybe you just do that at first. Like, wait, what? And they zoom in on $1 and Okada's face. Is
Yep.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's
Or
like,
the
"Come
He
on."
heel
doesn't even
pick-
have to be there.
Or the heel picks it up and just freaks out because it's $1 with Okada's face.
face on it.
You don't have to fly anybody in.
Yep.
It's the cheap way to do it, and people would go nuts.
You do it again and then play the music, but he doesn't come out.
Yeah. I
Oh,
would
man.
always
Just play
love,
the coin drop. All you have to do is play the.
yeah.
And
I would love
MJF
that.
comes out with his dollar sign. That would be great.
Yeah, that would be cool. I always said too when Kenny was heel, like the way Kenny turns back to babyface is what's his name comes
Coda.
out. Coda comes out and
Coda.
just like, you're not the guy I know, and that kind of pulls him back, like maybe out of the elite.
I have a
faction.
feeling Kenny's just going to instantly be a babyface when he comes back.
Yeah, probably.
People are so happy
He
to
has
see him.
to. He has to, right?
It wouldn't be
Well,
bad.
He could just punk Don Callis. That's how you get him back.
They're gonna do something with Kota Ibushi when they can.
Are
I
the
mean,
Bucks,
when
the Bucks
Cody
jump
gets
Kenny?
better, isn't he still injured or?
Coda?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I forget what's going
What's
on.
up?
Steven says podcast takeover. What's
Stefan.
up, everybody?
That's Stefan. He's
Stefan,
off,
sorry.
man. He's awesome. So he's one of my
awesome.
buddies.
Well, thank you for hanging out, brother. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all for current events. If you guys have anything, you're not doing anything Saturday night, come on out and hang out at PPW this Saturday.
Yes, 137 Aaron Lane, Broadheadsville, Pennsylvania, the Signature Training Academy.
Very well close to Eastern Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Stroudsburg, yeah. So
Jay Lethal will be there. Dante Martin, Lance Archer.
Doors open at 4:30.
Scarlet Bordeaux.
Yeah.
Doors open at 4:30. Bell time 7. So there you go. There's gonna be a meet and greet beforehand. Speaking of Ring of Honor, Jay Lethal will be in attendance again. He's gonna be wrestling. He's gonna be wrestling Alpha Jr., Lance Archer, and Mike Orlando on that show. I believe they'll both be part of the meet and greet. PPW title on the line, Broke Heller against the guy we brought up earlier, VSK.
It's gonna be a great match.
That's gonna be really good. That's gonna be worth going out of your way to see. We have a 4-way. This is just gonna be nonstop back and forth action. Dante Martin, Griffin McCoy, Action Andretti, and Jordan Oliver. That's the East Coast ace from GCW. Jordan Oliver.
Crazy.
That's gonna be insane. Chris Slade defending his No Limits title against Rembrandt and Adrian Soriano. House of Glory show.
Rembrandt's coming in with a completely different attitude. He wants his title back.
We buried the lead, the big one here. 8-man tag. Team Sins, Fox Vineyard, Timothy Theory, Mad Dog, and Isaac Rule
last time
against Andy Hatter. Well, the different people. Andy Hatter, Wildman Tarzan.
Who comes out to Ghost?
Oh, does he?
He did for Outbreak.
Is it Trevor Kage? I think it's how you say it. It was a Cage. I think it's Kage.
I think so. Yes.
And Bison.
Yeah, Bison. Who's on the other team before?
He flips sides.
I don't know.
He's seen the light.
I'm in the match, but I don't know.
Tag team title. You have South Philly's finest, Primal Fear, and Joey Martinez and Vinnie Mac, Team Ruda, for the tag titles. Rebecca Scott against Nikki Duke. Richard Holiday will be in action. Scarlet Bordeaux will be there.
Richard Holiday still in MLW, right?
Yeah, I believe so. And was there something about Scarlet Bordeaux will be wrestling?
Yeah, she's going to be wrestling.
But they didn't announce who.
Yeah, they
no
said
opponent,
in action.
And then 3 women's matches. That's great. And then you have, because you also have a triple threat with, unless she gets added to one of these matches.
Yeah.
You have a triple threat without.
We also forgot that Geek's favorite wrestler, Cosmic's going to be there. She's going to be smiling the whole time.
I'm the proud owner of a Cosmic keychain. It's in my pocket.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I have a Cosmic keychain.
And
that's
then
like when he throwing a little salt at Geek because that's Geek's best friend.
And then we have a 3-way match: Amber Nova against 2 former champions in PPW.
Amber Nova is going to be like the new roster member, I believe, of PPW. She's like,
oh, okay.
She's going to be. I think she just like started. She's part of the training academy there, and she's going to be
Are you sure? Because she's been on AEW Dark too.
I believe so, because it was supposed to be a different girl and she got hurt, so they brought this girl in to kind of be like a new member of the roster.
Yeah, okay.
And her introduction to the roster is going to be 2 former champions.
Yeah, because she's been in Raw. She's been on Raw. She's been on AEW Dark. She'll be up against Christina Marie and Ali Rex.
There you go.
Because I'm like,
Ali Rex's first match back since injury.
Oh, she was a ref last time, right?
Yeah. Stefan said I'm going Hog tomorrow. Should be a solid. I'm jealous. I want to go to a House of Glory show so bad.
What's the main event, Stefan? If you could type in the main event.
Yeah, let us know the main event of that.
Like those shows are always fire.
I heard those shows are great. Yeah,
dude, their roster is just. I obviously haven't met the entire roster, but we met a pretty nice chunk of it. But the way they represent themselves outside of their school and outside of House of Glory.
So your main event, really quick, sorry, is Jeff Cobb and TJP against the Briscoes.
Oh man, that's gonna
welcome.
Be awesome.
Wow.
Briscoes are their tag champions.
Yeah.
Jeff Cobb is a New Japan tag champion right
now.
Yeah. The Briscoes I don't believe they're tag champions anywhere.
They're tag champions at House of Glory.
Okay.
They beat Pentacon by himself because Ray Phoenix was not able to compete.
Wait, didn't they win the GCW tag title?
They already lost them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He's already gone.
They lost them to
Happy and Alley Catch.
To Bussy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Bussy are the new tag team champions. I love that team.
Briscoes, I think, also wrestled the SATs there. They've wrestled.
Any other matches that we didn't go over?
I believe that's everything for PPW that's been announced.
So come out, hang out. The only person who really will know this is Harley, but we have a huge collection of stickers this time coming into the show. So I have tons of this logo stickers. So we will be handing those out. If you got trading cards, get your trading card signed by myself and Andy Header. It always makes me feel cool when someone's like, "Can I have your autograph?" I'm like, "Me."
Yeah.
I want a card. That sounds cool.
Yeah, they have trading cards there. It's a lot of fun. We have a blast there. But yeah, we'll be at Broadheadsville to Saturday night if you want to come hang out.
Yeah. And then we will be in Hamburg April 30th.
For another great show.
Yeah. And also a great cause. It's Honor Autism Acceptance. And a lot of the proceeds are going to be raffles and things like that. And a lot of proceeds going to the Berks County, the Autism Society of Berks County. I don't know the exact name.
We are putting an item in for the raffle.
Oh,
good.
Yeah. So I accidentally had a mistake order and I have 2 of them. And instead of selling one, I think it would be cool to auction it off, and whatever it makes, or whoever buys it, or whatever they go, it'll go towards the fund. So
there we go.
we're gonna be auctioning off the blood and guts, or not blood and guts, but the blood version of Cody and Dustin.
Oh, wow. The Blood Brothers.
The Blood Brother match. So it's the Blood Brothers action figure. Cody's pretty hot right now, obviously, with everything going on. People are gonna want that. So it's a special edition Ringside collectible toy. And we're gonna put one in the raffle for people to raffle off of.
And, cool guys, that's a good move.
Main event already announced. It'll be Ian Bush defending the Outbreak Championship against Johnny Moran.
Harley got trading cards for her birthday. Look at you!
Wow, the whole set.
And then
you guys said Paul. Actually, we're having one of the people from PPW on the podcast. Paul, he's coming.
Okay, Paul Bo. Yeah,
Paul Bo.
The ring announcement.
He points a lot. I get to do commentary, Paul Bo.
You have to ask him about the Bow Limit Soldiers.
Oh yes. Yeah, Paul Bo is a gangster.
Master P.
And the 47 guys that came out in that Nitro. Remember that one?
Tell Paul when you see him on the podcast, he's looking real thick.
Okay. Oh no.
Joe, you're gonna get Joe in trouble now, right?
Like, no.
Tell him the tornado tag says he's real thick.
You're like, damn tornado tag, man. You like
I would have got away with it if it wouldn't be meddling kids right there.
Yeah. Well, here's what we'll do. We'll go around the table and get our plugs out and let our guests plug last. Save the best for last. So, Andy, what else you got? Anything you want to plug?
We plugged Outbreak and PPW. I have no other shows coming up right now.
All right.
No wrestling shows.
Brian.
I have a podcast that'll be coming out in about 2.5 hours at midnight.
Ooh.
Murder My Dude, episode 130, I believe. We talked about the real Dr. Death, not Steve Williams, not Jack Kevorkian, a British man who killed probably over 200 people, mostly older women, and got away with it because everybody trusts their doctor.
Yep.
And we're going to be talking all about him. Just look up Murder My Dude wherever you're listening to this podcast. You'll find us. ProjectHumanoid.com is the website. We're on social media. You can just look up Murder My Dude. You will find the show. And we're going to be talking about the real Dr. Death, and it comes out tonight at midnight Eastern.
There we go.
More in-depth look on Brawl for All. It's going to be great.
Bart Gunn. It's going to be all about Bart Gunn.
Hey, Dr. Death didn't make it very far in Brawl for All.
No, he did not. Second round. Kelly.
I'm going to have an unusual plug tonight. I'm going to plug this band, this thrash metal band on TikTok called the Truck Stop. They're Truck Stop thrash metal band or something.
Not Truck Stop Love Child. It's a local,
no.
cover band.
They're from West Virginia, and they do a lot of cool TikToks, but they're also big wrestling fans too. They're always in wrestling shirts, and there's always wrestling on the television when they're doing them. So I think they're just great. They're really funny, and
if they like pro wrestling, we like them.
Sure, I gotta make sure I have the right.
There's a thrash band called Eat the Turnbuckle.
Really?
Yeah, they're on Spotify. So if you want.
All right, I'm gonna sound like a weirdo here, but thrash is that kind of like heavier punk?
Kinda. It's always like fast music, like solos.
Okay.
Sometimes the singing is fast too.
TikToks for life. Harley says we're doing pretty well on
they're
TikTok.
They're just called Truck Stop Band, and they're like pop culture and tons of like wrestling stuff they're always talking about.
Maybe we'll have them on the show.
So
West Virginia. We'll tag them and we'll see if they want to come talk.
I like thrash metal.
There you go.
Megadeth, Anthrax, Metallica, Overkill, Slayer.
So,
we also
really
all the podcast shows are on TikTok. So if you want to follow us on there, we're actually doing pretty well. A lot of banging beers. The last one you put, I think one of them hit like 650 or something.
Our Truth Behind the Illusion is the monster fight, the cryptid fight.
Oh my god, where you're gonna Care Bear the monster.
Yeah, I'm gonna Care Bear the monster. Yeah,
Oh,
until
you
it
just
ends up
freaked out.
until it ends up like the never-ending
just freaked
story,
out,
and I'm
Blake.
riding the Snallygaster
No,
into the
TikTok.
sky, and then I'm gonna whip you guys the bird. No, that one's at like 900 and some views now.
Yeah. Yeah, we have TikTok. The whole network's
Yep.
on there, so you can search any of the
We all have
podcasts on
TikTok.
TikTok.
Everybody.
Yep.
This circle
Everybody.
has-
Yeah.
I don't.
Andy,
No, Andy don't,
I'm
and
too
Brian
old.
doesn't.
Andy and Brian have TikToks where all
But
they do is dance.
It said if
I
you're
help with the
born
TikTok accounts.
before
Yeah.
a certain date, you can't download.
Yeah, if you're born before 1985, they kick you off of TikTok.
No, they
Yeah.
it.
don't.
Yeah, they don't.
No, they don't.
You
are just
you say
stuck-
that, but it's
stuck in
getting,
the
getting
mud.
good exposure for the podcast.
Yeah.
That is- that-
Yeah.
Like the old school TV
Yeah,
thing.
so-
Go,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
the little dot.
What are we on TikTok? Just Tornado Tag.
Tornado
right?
Tag Pod.
I'm
or
on
Tornado-
Friendster.
Friends.
What the hell was
tout.
Friendster?
Oh, yes, we're on Chow.
WWE.
That sounds dirty.
All I know is we need Elon Musk to buy Twitter because the first thing he said he wants to add is an edit button
I heard about
because your boy sometimes can't spell and then I post things.
Oh.
And
Me
then
too.
I'm like,
like
That's
me.
also
He's
me.
mad at me.
Always,
mad at
always,
me.
It's also
T-Mo
me.
brain right here.
Yeah.
always proofread. If you're
Yeah.
not excited,
and then it gets retweeted by someone
Sometimes-
really cool and you're like, I look like I'm an idiot. Yeah.
I
I
sometimes
like
proofread
to-
too. It just still doesn't go that way.
I get all
really don't.
excited, and then I write with I can't spell, so I use the speaker, and I'm like, and the podcast that it is internationally known. I'm talking, shaking my head like that girl, and no, you didn't.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and then it's
sometimes,
like, no.
Yeah.
sometimes I go to reply to something, I actually click on the wrong thing
You're like,
because I'm not
Tune into the
Twitter.
podcast at 8:00 and it says, I am a psychopathic axe murderer and I will kill your whole family. And you're like, post.
That
Your
might be
daughter,
honor.
your daughter's gonna like me. Oh no, I meant to
Yeah.
say mom, not daughter.
Yeah. So, guys, two dudes with attitudes here. I started with it. I'll end with it. What's your plugs? Let's tell the people where we could find you, and let's talk about the podcast.
Okay, geekers.
You want to
I
start,
will
Joe?
tell you where you could find us on Facebook. You could find us on Twitch. You could find us on TikTok. You could find us on Twitter,
YouTube,
everywhere. All social media.
Spotify. Spotify. You can
Everywhere.
find it.
Go yeah. You tell them the fun parts, geeks.
Google, Apple, Stitcher. You could now find us on TikTok. All of us. You can find Dudes at Ringside on TikTok, Metal Geek, Joe the Panther on TikTok. You could also find us now exclusively on Pinterest, which is very interesting.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, so
We
that's
don't
our
really
new
make
announcement.
anything, and I'm like, what? We don't make anything. Why the hell? We're not.
No,
we're not making fucking Dudes at Ringside scarves.
Joe laughed at me when I told him we're now on Pinterest. But the
We're
thing
not making scarves out of like teal t-shirts, dude. What are you doing?
no,
Andy and
but-
I are going to start live journals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, hear me out, Joe. Hear me out on this one. You could pin your video clips and people could start posting them to the people that like them on the board.
I know, but it still makes me think of like my mom. Can you try making Dudes at Ringside scarves? I know you can. I know you can put our logo on anything. No,
Bracelets
no.
and earrings and
Yeah.
stuff.
But
Snakes
yeah.
and sparklers.
I'll have
But-
to follow you. I have Pinterest too. Still,
Yeah.
There you go.
I still have Pinterest for craft ideas.
See, that's why I'm like, we're not making
No,
stuff.
no. But I still have my hot guys list on there too. So like,
There you go.
if I ever need a pick me up, I have the Hello
So apparently
Hotness
you can do all
board.
kinds of things.
You'll be on the
Pinterest.
Hawkeye list.
Yeah.
You
I
can
hope,
find me on
Hoover
E-Bombs
the
World.
Third is on the Hawkeye list because you know.
Yeah, we're on World Star Hip Hop.
I post a lot on my Zanga page.
I'm on HomestarRunner.com.
Yeah.
Hey,
Down
Homestar
one,
Runner!
Yeah.
Homestar
So-
Awesome, guys.
I also have with my
Hey,
Cosmic
hey.
keychain. I have a strong Betty keychain.
Oh, you do
it.
Well, thank you guys so much. It was an absolute pleasure having you on. I'm sorry I
No.
could not make it to your podcast, but it sounded like it's going to work out better because now you just won't be stuck with me. You'll get the whole team, and we'll
Yeah.
set that up and do a show together.
No, thanks for inviting us, by the way. We're really appreciative, by the way, me and Joe. Thank you so much.
You guys are putting your work in. I appreciate. I respect the hard work, and like I said, it's hard to build a podcast community, and it's hard to find podcasters who are willing to also work with other podcasters and not just kind of leech off the next person. Like, oh, I'll come on your podcast, hope I get some views, and then move on. You guys don't give that vibe. You guys are good people. I really wish you the best. I'm really looking forward to hanging out with you guys at some local event shows and coming up.
Yeah, and don't forget, watch us tomorrow on everything, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. We're gonna have the Dirty Heels on tomorrow night at 8:00. So
They're cool
We're gonna
people
talk
too.
about shoes.
Yep.
yeah,
Shoes,
So-
shoes and other stuff that we can't talk about because people are gonna get mad.
Yeah, with that being said, we're going to play the outro music. If you guys want to leave a review here at the very end, we'll post all your comments while you're typing in the very last couple minutes of this outro. And also, you can always go on Apple. Spotify has a review thing. A 5-star review goes a long way and helps us out. And we are very close to 100 subscribers over on YouTube. So if you can go over and help us out with that, that'd be great. We'll get even closer to that goal of 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Thank you all so much. Once again, make sure you show our guests that same love. All their links are below. I gave you a
all these guys, everybody.
All these guys, give them love, show them all love. And one thing I could close out: support your local indie promotion. Doesn't matter where they're from,
and your local podcast too.
Support your local indies and support your local podcasts. And we will see you in the next one.
Yep, guys, don't click out of this because after the music stuff and we'll go off air. I want to give you guys a proper goodbye and then we'll let you guys go. All right, unless you have to go, then I won't be offended.
We're good.
All right, see you guys. We're out of here.
Yeah.